Hey everyone, let me start with some real context because I believe it actually changes how you see the whole picture here. For the past few years, I've made it a deliberate practice to not just read white papers or watch reviews, but to put every crypto tool through actual real-world usage under my own wallet with my own capital day after day. And the category I keep coming back to is non-custodial decentralized exchanges, the ones that run completely without KYC. That's exactly where the most meaningful infrastructure progress is happening right now. There's one particular platform I've been stress testing consistently for the last several months, and today I want to walk you through a complete live example, show you the actual swap in real time, explain the mechanics step by step, and break down why this architecture works the way it does. Toward the end, I'll also share the exact practical framework I use to evaluate any services before I commit real volume to them. Okay, a couple of things stood out to me almost immediately and kept bringing me back. The security design was the first big one. I'll go deeper into that shortly. The token coverage is genuinely broad, covering pretty much everything I regularly move. The exchange rates stay competitive. I've run side-by-side tests against multiple other aggregators and dexes over time, and this one holds its ground reliably. It also offers a clean direct-to-bank card withdrawal path, which is still rarer than it should be in this space, and the implementation is straightforward without unnecessary steps. But what ends up mattering most in daily use is the processing speed. Across months of regular activity, I have never once waited longer than 5 to 10 minutes for a transaction to finalize. Every single time, it's simply completed. I'm going to do a straightforward USDT to Bitcoin swap, the most basic pair that still covers the core mechanics. I open the exchange window on screen, select USDT as the send asset, done. Then set BTC as the receive asset. Good. Immediately below, the platform displays the complete picture, current exchange rate, network fee, and the expected processing time frame. Okay, let me scan that one more time. Yep, all numbers look solid. Moving forward, now I enter the destination address for the BTC. Also, there's an optional refund address field for the Tether side and a field for an email for transaction updates. Give me a second. Okay, everything's filled in. Next step is the final review of the full order details. Everything matches. I accept the privacy policy and click Create Order. Good, order is now live. The platform is waiting for me to send tokens. Just one moment. Good, now confirming the transaction, and it's submitted. Processing has started. From here, the system takes over automatically. BTC should land in my wallet in just a couple of minutes. And while that's running in the background, I want to explain the underlying structure because the non-custodial model is the entire reason this experience feels so different. At no point during this process does the platform ever take custody of my assets. There's no deposit into their wallet, no intermediate holding period, no moment when my tokens are under anyone else's control. I initiate the send directly from my own wallet, the swap executes on-chain through optimized routing, and the output goes straight to my receiving address. The platform's only role is to discover and execute the most efficient path, nothing more. That is fundamentally different from how centralized exchanges operate. There, you create an account, complete KYC, deposit funds, and then your assets sit on their balance sheet. Here, none of that exists. No personal data is collected, no funds are ever held by the service, and your exposure is not tied to the platform's operational stability. If the service disappears tomorrow, your tokens were never at risk because they were never in their possession. And that technical reality leads directly into something I consider equally critical: developing a sharp eye for distinguishing legitimate platforms from fakes that flood this space. After years of systematic testing, I can tell you the fake service problem is persistent and widespread. They rank in normal search results, get recommended in communities, and some are polished enough that the warning signs aren't obvious at first glance. The challenge is amplified by how quickly the entire crypto ecosystem evolves. New terminology, new primitives, new service models appear constantly. That environment is exactly where questionable sites can masquerade as innovation. It's not unique to crypto. You see the same pattern anywhere high technical complexity meets low regulatory oversight. So I follow a short, non-negotiable checklist every time. First, visual and UI quality. Serious teams show it in the details. Inconsistencies, awkward layouts, or elements that feel hastily put together almost always correlate with deeper issues. Second, the logical flow of the interface. If steps feel deliberately convoluted or appear in an unnatural order, that's a meaningful signal. Well-designed platforms are intuitive by default. Third, security transparency. If there's no clear public explanation of how funds move, what safeguards exist, or whether independent reviews have been conducted, I stop right there. So before I sign off, here's the metric that actually matters most to me. Hard numbers from real usage. Several months of active daily testing, more than 40 completed swaps, nearly every major token pair I use on a regular basis, and 0 failures across the entire period. In a market where consistent reliability is still rare, that track record is what I trust above everything else. Real-world consistency, measured over time under normal conditions, that's the only proof that counts. Thanks for watching. If you've got questions about any of the steps or the evaluation process, drop them in the comments and I'll get back to you.